If this was the last morning of war, the opposing forces seem determined to spend their fury. These men are from a far-right Ukrainian militia defending Mariupol. From the apartment blocks, the soldiers watched rebel movements. Below them, children played on, as if oblivious to the unfolding battle, while civilians watched the smoke rise from the explosions. Throughout the morning, we've been hearing the sound of heavy shelling. In the distance now, you can hear rebels using rocket fire, but we've also seen Ukrainian jets overhead and heard outgoing artillery. It seems that with the ceasefire just hours away, the plan for a ceasefire, both sides are now trying to gain as much military advantage as they can. In this ambulance, wounded civilians for whom a ceasefire came too late to save them from tragedy. Among them a woman whose young grandchildren were killed just hours before the peace deal was signed. Lubov Vasilyevna saw her granddaughter, aged 6, and her disabled grandson, aged 10, cut down by an explosion. When I held my granddaughter Karolina, the whole left side of her was shredded. I was in shock, Lubov told me. Nikita was still in his wheelchair. It was really difficult. There was blood everywhere. I don't know how I'm going to survive this. The images of them are in front of my eyes. Despite the promise of peace, some families are still fleeing. Valentina Pavlovna is a widow who says she's too afraid to stay any longer. But they've promised a ceasefire. Do you not believe in that? Oh, God willing that it will happen. If it does, we'll come back, she says. There are as many as 1 million displaced people in the east. But with peace at least in prospect, there's some chance aid can get through to people like these residents of an old folks' home in rebel territory near Donetsk. The local commander took us to meet those who are barely surviving. He would hear their fury. There was a body lying here for 2 days, she tells him. We couldn't bury it. No one cares about us. We're like abandoned dogs. The fighter is lost for words. The conflict is not settled, the land is divided, and the people of the East know simmering hatreds can erupt into war again. After all they've suffered, only the test of time will convince them peace is really coming. Fergal, Keane, BBC News, Mariupol.